Welcome to the second day and the fourth session of the workshop on Vedic philosophy of Manas. I cordially welcome Professor Jayaramanji, Dean, Division of Yoga Spirituality, S-VYASA. Welcome, sir. And Dr. Sridharji, Associate Professor, Division of Yoga Spirituality, S-VYASA. I request Professor Jayaramanji to chair this session. I invite Ms. Maheshwari ji, Assistant Professor, introduce the speaker.
Namaste Suprabhatam. It is my esteemed pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker for today's workshop, Dr. N. Sridhar. He is currently serving as an associate professor in Division of Yoga Spirituality at S-VYASA, deemed to be university. He holds an extensive academic background with a PhD in Sanskrit from Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Vishwa Mahavidyalaya, where he was honored with Sadguru Baba Meher Chaitanya Gold Medal for the best thesis in consciousness. With over 9 years of teaching and research experience, Dr. Sridhar has made significant contributions to the field of Sanskrit literature, Indian philosophy, and yoga, having published 31 works, including co-authored books and research papers in various esteemed journals. His scholarly interest spans a wide range of topics, particularly in Vaisesika philosophy and its application in modern context. Dr. Sridhar's commitment to education extends beyond the classroom. He has played pivotal roles in organizing numerous workshops, seminars, and national conferences, has been an active contributor to community service activities through his voluntary works with Sanskrita Bharati, fluent in Sanskrit, Hindi, English, and with a working knowledge of Tamil and Telugu. He brings a rich linguistic and cultural perspectives to his work. We are privileged to have Dr. N. Sridhar with us today, who will share his insight and expertise on enriching topic. Over to you, sir.
नमस्सभायै सभापतिभ्यश्च श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So I would like to give a gist how the darshanas, Nyaya and Vaisesika, they discuss about the manas. So before going into the topic, I see some of the students, some of the participants, those who are new to this subject. I want to introduce what Nyaya and Vaisesika within 2 minutes. So in Indian philosophy, darshanam, what we call, which shows the path towards the moksha. So Nyaya and Vaisesika, these are two of such darshanas. So broadly we divide the Indian philosophies or the Bharatiya darshanam into two, Astika darshanam and Nastika darshanam, where the Astika darshanas, they believe or they have the firm or they support the Vedas and the existence of the Vedas. Whereas the Nastika darshana, they deny the Vedas or they don't support the Vedas. So the philosophies or the major 6 philosophies, Mimamsa, Vedantaha, Nyaya, Vaisesika, Sankhya and Yoga, these are the 6 major philosophies who support the Vedas, and they are called Vaidika darshanas or the Astika darshanas. Whereas the Charvaka, Bauddha and Jaina, these 3 major darshanas, they are the Nastika darshana or the non-Vedic darshanas. So coming to the Nyaya and Vaisesika darshana, Nyaya darshana was propounded by the Maharshi Gautama, and the Vaisesika darshana was propounded by Maharshi Kanada. So Nyaya, when we see, it is actually into 2, Prachina Nyaya and the Navya Nyaya. So Navya Nyaya is a combination of Prachina Nyaya and the Vaisesika. So Navya Nyaya takes the pramanas from the Prachina Nyaya and the padarthas, sapta padarthas from the Vaisesika. So when we classify the darshanas, we have Samatantra darshanas, where some of the major theories are similar in two darshanas. For example, Mimamsa and Vedanta Samatantra, Nyaya and Vaisheshika are Samatantra. Similarly, Sankhya and Yoga are Samatantra. Okay. So these are the some of the topics that we are going to see in today's lecture. How the Nyaya and Vaisheshika, they are proving the Manas, then Manas as Indriya, then qualities of the Manas, how many numbers, what are the Sanyoga, Vibhaga, what are the Gunas, the Nyaya Darshana describes about the Manas, then Nityatva of the Manas as per the Nyaya, and then Smriti and Swapna, that's the dream. So before going into the topic, I want to give all of you a small task. So hope all of you can hear the sounds and see very well the surroundings. Right? Yes? Okay. So please spot some, can you spot some differences here? Okay. Now, okay, you are just seeing. I am giving some more chances for our students. The next one. So how many faces can you see? It's a common photo that we are going through. I think the audio is audible. I have a question for you. What is the instrument played here? Please raise a hand and just stand up. What is that? There is a trick. Sitar. How many faces are here? Not now. You say. What was the differences between the previous? Have you find any difference? The previous picture? No. Okay. How many of you were able to identify the instrument? Ma'am said that she was not able to listen. Right? So that is manas for you. So when you see a particular or the sense organs, so there is the sutra, how the Nyaya proves the manas is Atmendriyartha Sannikarshe Jnanasya Bhavaha Abhavascha Manaso Lingam. So there is another one. I will just go to and I will explain this. Yugapat Jnana Anutpattihi Manasaha Lingam. So the Nyaya, the previous one says there is a sequence of knowing the knowledge. So the Indriyartha, Artha means whatever we are seeing, what are the sense organs are grasping or the senses, the objects through our sense organs. For example, all these items, whatever I am seeing, are Artha for my eyes. The sound is Artha for the ears. Similarly, the taste is the Artha for Jihva, the tongue. So, the Indriya, the Arthas, the objects are being sensed by the sensory organs only when the manas is combined or the manas is connected with them. So in Nyaya and Vaisesika, the Atma is the place where the knowledge takes place. The knowledge is delivered to the Atma. So because Atma is the only Chaitanya. So coming to this definition, Atma Indriya Artha Sannikarshe. So when there is Atma, there is our Indriya, there is our Artha. Sannikarshe, when these are connected, Jnanasya, connected, or though they are connected for the whole life, Jnanasya Bhavaha Abhavaha. Though the Atma, Indriya and Artha, these three are connected always in our life, but the knowledge is perceived at some time, not every time. For example, when you are seeing the photo, you are not able to perceive the sound, or you are not able to identify the instrument. Right? So those who identify the instrument were not able to perceive both the differences or the phases. So what is the tool, or what is that which makes this difference? When the Atma, Indriya, Artha, both all are available or present at all point of time, at every point of time, then the knowledge should be perceived every time. But that is not happening. So what is the tool which makes the difference? Bhavaha, abhavaha. Sometimes we are getting the knowledge, sometimes the absence of knowledge is there. Abhava of knowledge, abhava of jnana is there. So this is the tool called manas, which is making the difference. So the manas, where it is focused, the Atma, Indriya, when the manas, the Artha are connected to Indriya, Indriya is connected to manas, and the manas is connected to Atma. Then the Atma receives where the manas is focused. So that's what we have seen now. So when the manas is not there, so the Atma, Indriya and Indriya are present always. So when the manas is there, the Atma gets the knowledge, receives the knowledge. So there is another definition how our Nyaya Kara or the Vaisheshikas are proving the manas is Smritehe Hetureva Manaha. Smritihi is memory, to know. So we have done many works in our childhood, or we have seen a lot of people. So the Atma has, at the time the manas, Atma and everything was connected. But when the person is gone after 10 years or after the 5 years, still we remember the person. The person is not in front of us. The Indriya and Artha is not connected directly to them. However, the Atma is present every time. But what makes the difference, still we remember the person. What makes the difference, the Atma still remembers. The person, the Artha is not in front of us, or Artha is not connected to Atma, or directly connected to Atma. So the difference is manas. Manas makes that to remember anything that we have learnt earlier in our time. If the manas is not connected there, if that manas is not focused in that, we forget that. So that is why when we learn in the classes, we say, man laga kar padho. Right? So precious. So these are the whatever that down we have the resource. That is the source text. Prashasta Pada Bhashyam. That is the text of Vaisheshika Darshan. That is a Bhashyam on Vaisheshika Sutra. As we have Yoga Sutra, similarly the Vaisheshika Nyaya also has sutras. So this is the Bhashyam on Vaisheshika Sutra. So then another technique to prove manas are Sukhadinam Sadhakendriyam Manaha, or how Sukhopalambaka Indriyam Tanmanaha. So how do we perceive, or how do we experience the Sukha and Dukkha and other emotions? So again, the Nyaya and Vaisheshika say that the same product may be Sukham or Dukkham. Sukham means whatever is Anukula to me, whatever seems to be good for me. And Dukkham means which is not good for me. So what decides that? If the product itself is bad, then it should be bad for everyone. So it is a personal subjective thing that I don't like. For example, bitter gourd. or the Karela. I don't like. But someone may like bitter gourd. Yes. So ma'am likes the bitter gourd. So what is the, what makes the difference between us? That is our manas. So this manas makes that this particular taste is not according to me, so I don't like. So that makes the dukkham for me or sukham for her, the same product. So it is in between two persons. We can examine the same thing in a single person. The people who are diabetics, in the childhood they would have eaten much more sweets a lot. So that gave them the sukham in childhood, whereas the high diabetes people, they avoid, those who want to be healthy, they avoid sweets so that the sweets become visham for them. So the same sweet was a sukham, now it is a visham. The manas says, no, it is not good for your health. Right? So this is how the manas is responsible to determine our sukham and dukkham. Similarly, if I don't like a person, or though he would have scolded me, anything. So that makes that person not for me, because my manas is not into him. It's not liking. It's a tool which makes that this person is not good for you. The same person may be friend with someone else. So this is how we say that for the smriti and for the sukha and dukkha also, the manas, whatever differences it makes, or whatever we experience, the sukham, dukkham, krodha, moha, lobha, whatever it is because of the manas that we are. So if I want something to eat, or if I would have eaten the rajma chawal at the very first time, I am very fond of that. The second time I want it again and again. So the moha is because of the moha on the rajma chawal is for me is on because of the manas. Okay. So now the next is why we call the manas as indriya. So till now we have seen the manas is responsible for sukham, it is responsible for dukkham, is responsible for the smriti, memory, everything. So why we want to call it as an indriya? So there are many other indriyas are also there, pancha jnanendriya and the pancha karmendriya. They have their own duties to do. The eyes can only sense the color. What we call in the Nyaya is rupam. So rupam is color according to Nyaya. It's a technical term in Nyaya which means color. So the eyes can only determine the color or can only perceive the color. The eyes cannot perceive any taste, any sound, any smell or anything. And that is why a person who is blind cannot perceive the color, or that is why we are not able to see anything. Because of the color, whatever the present in the product, we are able to see that product. Similarly, a person who is deaf, he cannot able to listen. So all these people who are disabled with their sensory organs are able to remember, are able to experience the sukha and dukkha. So there is when we learn the Shastra, when we learn our Indian knowledge systems, there is a very good thing that even the counter questions are being included in the text. It's not like the Shastra is giving only the theory that they are supporting. No. The Shastra is also giving you the counter questions, that what is the other person is countering your own theory. They write the whole theory, whole counter questions, and then they prove their own theory with the evidences. So that we call as Purva Paksha. Those who are countering the theory, they are called Purva Paksha, and the philosophers or the Darshanikas who are supporting the theory, they are called the Siddhanta Paksha. So here, the Purva Paksha, they have a question that why cannot be the Sukha and Dukkha be perceived by the Pancha Jnanendriya or Pancha Karmendriya itself? Why do we need a manas as an indriya separately? So they say that, okay, if we accept that, then a person who is deaf or who is blind or who is don't have any sensory, the sensory organs are not working, he or she should also be able to experience the sukha, should not be able to experience the sukha and dukkha, or should not able to remember anything. But in the loka vyavahara, in the world, we are seeing exactly opposite to that. Even all the those who don't have the disabled sensory people, those sensory organs are disabled, they are also experiencing the sukha and dukkha. They are also remembering everything what they have got to know from someone. So these pancha karmendriya or pancha jnanendriya cannot experience. That is the reason, logic, that these pancha jnanendriya or the pancha karmendriya cannot experience the sukha and dukkha. So hence we need a separate indriya. There is a separate indriya present in our body which makes the difference, which makes these people to experience the sukha and dukkha and also to remember. So that is manas. So that is why the Nyaya and Vaisesika, they accept, or all the Darshanikas accept the manas as indriya. Okay. So now moving ahead, the Nyaya and Vaisesika darshanas, both they accept padarthas. Padarthas, they classify the whole world into 7. The Prachina Nyayikas, they classify into 16. The Navya Nyayikas and the Vaisheshikas, they classify into 6 or 7. And these 7, they do, among these 7 are Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha, Samavaya and Abhava. These are the 7 padarthas. The Dravya contains guna. The guna and karma are present in the dravya. The base, or what we call the base for or adhara for guna and karma is dravyam. So manas is a dravyam in Nyaya and Vaisheshika. So we have seen in the very first slide. Yes. Tatra dravyani prithvivyaptej vayavakasha kaladik atma manamsi navaiva. So prithvi, up, that is water, tejaha, the energy, vayu, akasha, kala, dik, atma, manaha. So these are the 9 dravyas that Vaisheshikas and the Nyayikas, Navya Nyayikas, they do present. So manas is among them. So when it is dravya, then there must be a guna and karma. So these are the gunas that these are major gunas: sankhya, parimanam, pritaktvam, sanyogaha, vibhagaha, gatihi. Okay. So first we will see one by one. Sankhya. So again there is some debate in the sankhya. Whether there is a one manas present in many in a body, or there are many manas present in a body. There are very good debate presented in the Nyaya Vaisheshika. The Siddhanta Paksha is one manas in a one body. So the Nyaya and Vaisheshika, they say that a manas is associated with a Jivatma, and the manas is always associated with the same Jivatma. So they have some, they are supporting, how they are supporting, the Nyaya and Vaisheshika supporting this is, as I told earlier, the knowledge or the jnanas, the adhara for the jnana or the knowledge is delivered to the Atma in Nyaya and Vaisheshika. Not anywhere, not in the brain or manas or anywhere, or not in the indriyas. It is the Atma who receives the knowledge. Okay. So, the Nyaya and Vaisheshika say, Atma has a multiple janma. What we call the janma, punarjanma. We know in all our philosophies, all our darshanas, we see that Atma goes through, changes the body after one another. So, when this happens, even in yoga, we know that the Atma is able to recollect the knowledge of previous janmas. So, it will happen only when the same manas is associated with that Atma. So, there is a doubt, there is a counter question. Why cannot there be different manas in a different janma with that Atma? Let it be janma 1, 2, 3. In the janma 1, Atma is associated with manas 1. Janma 2, Atma is associated with manas, some other manas, and next janma some other manas. If we accept this theory, then the Atma would not be able to recollect the previous janma's knowledge, because the manas is, the previous janma's knowledge is with, the manas is not focused with the previous janmas. The current janma manas is not associated or connected with the Atma because it was not there in the previous janma. So, the Siddhanta Paksha, the answer is, because the Atma is able to recollect the knowledge of previous Janma, it is necessary that the same Manas has to be associated with the same Atma. So that the Atma, through the Siddhis, the Atma or through the Yoga, the Atma can be able to recollect the previous Janma's knowledge. So this Sambandha is called as Niyata Sambandha. The same Manas is associated with the same Atma. Okay. So then, now this question is being answered. Come to the next question, the counter question. Why do we have to accept a one Manas in a Sharira? Why cannot be there Pancha Manas? We have Pancha Jnana Indriya. Let it be each Indriya be associated with each one Manas, and let it there be the Pancha 5 Manas in a body, in a Sharira. So then they answer that if that happens, as the Atma is Nitya and Atma is Vibhu. Vibhu means it's everywhere. It can get perceived knowledge of everything. That's why when the moksha happens, Atma is able to be the Sarvajna. So the Atma is Vibhu and it can be it can get the knowledge of everything. And Indriya can also perceive many things. Means my eyes can perceive all of you. There are lots of objects in this hall. My eyes can see everything. So the Indriyas are also able to perceive multiple things or multiple objects at a time. But the knowledge happens, or whatever the knowledge is delivered to Atma is not for the whole everything, but for a particular or certain thing at a point of time. That's what we saw in the very first during the starting of the session, that you are not able to listen or identify the instrument, because if there would be a Pancha Manas in our body, then you would have been identified the instrument with the ears. So now we have seen that practically that is not possible. So the Nyayikas also say the same, that it is not possible that the Manas, if that would be happening, the Pancha Manas would be there, then the Indriyas would have been identifying everything present in front of them, whether with the eyes, ears or whatever it is. But the Atma is able to get the knowledge of only one object or a certain objects at a particular given point of time. So that is the reason why there is a single Manas in a body. So then there is another question. Sometimes it happens that we experience multiple knowledge occurring in us. You are able to listen the sound, right? You are not able to identify the instrument, let it be. But you are able to listen the sound. You are able to also focus on the pictures. So there is a simultaneous knowledge occurring in us, right? We have experienced that now. So the same question is being asked by the Purva Pakshi, the counter question. So the Nayayikas say that, yes, that experience is there in us, but the knowledge occurring in us is in a sequence. There is a sequence of knowledge. There is a kramika jnanotpattihi. There is a sequence of knowledge is there, and that sequence is so rapid that we are not able to understand that it is occurring in a sequence. It happens, it seems to be simultaneous, but it's not simultaneous. It is in a sequence. So that rapid, because of the rapid speed of the manas, we are not able to recollect what the sequence is. So that is answer given by the Nayayikas. So this answer is Prayatna Ayauga Padyat Jnana Ayoga Padyacha Ekam. Prayatna means the process, whatever happening here, whatever the Indriyas are seeing, it cannot perceive, means the manas cannot get cannot be focused in multiple objects simultaneously, and similarly because of that the jnana cannot, the multiple or the simultaneous knowledge cannot be delivered to the Atma, and therefore there is only one manas present in a body. Okay. So now the next guna is the size. So in Nyaya Vaisesika we say that The Akasha is the largest object. That's the Akash, the Mahat. That's the ultimate limit of the largest object. And the very smallest is Paramanu or the Anu. So, according to the Nyaya Vaiseshikas, the Manas is, the size of Manas is Anu. So again, there is a counter questions. Why it is Anu? Why it cannot be Vibhu? Why it cannot be all pervasive like the Akasha or like the Atma? So then the answer is if that happens. If we accept that Manas is Vibhu or the Manas is all pervasive, then in our body we experience that I am having a pain in my hand or I am having a pain, headache. These are the examples given by the Shastra. The Nyaya itself giving these examples. So we experience pain in different parts of our body and we say that I have a pain in my head, I have a pain in my hand. So we say that there's only in the particular area I am experiencing the pain, not in the whole body or not everywhere. The pain is being experienced. If the Manas is, it is the answer of the Nyaya Vaiseshika, if the Manas is Vibhu or if the Manas is all pervasive, then the pain should also be experienced everywhere, not in a certain part of our body. So therefore, we have to accept that the Manas is Anu. They are giving another supportive answer for that, the sequence of knowledge happening. If the Manas is also being accepted as Vibhu, where the Atma is Vibhu, Atma is Sarvagya, Atma can be everywhere and it can, like we say, Jivatma, Paramatma, so it can be everywhere and also it can perceive all the objects in front of it. Similarly, the Indriyas can also perceive almost multiple objects at a time. If the Manas is also, if we accept the Manas to be Vibhu or the all pervasive, then all the objects, the knowledge of all the objects or everything should happen in us simultaneously. But it is not being experienced. Single or a certain knowledge is being experienced or being delivered to the Atma at a particular given point of time. So there is a sequence of knowledge is occurring in the Atma. So that is the reason why the Manas has to be Anu. The size of the Manas has to be Anu. Only then this sequence of knowledge can be occurred. Yes. So the next one is Prithaktvam, the guna. There are 24 gunas being classified by the Nyaya and Vaiseshika. So among them, Prithaktvam is one of them. So Prithaktvam is, this phone is different and this pointer or the remote is different. There are two different objects. Even though if I have two different papers are two different entities. So this is the Prithaktvam. We can differentiate the two. So the Manas, as we said, as we have learnt that each and every Sharira has one Manas. So my Manas is different from your Manas, her Manas and his Manas. So we can differentiate the Manas from each and every other Manas. So therefore the Prithaktvam, that we can differentiate, that guna is present in the Manas, Dravyam called Manas. Two other gunas, Sanyoga and Vibhaga. So this is Sanyoga. When two Dravyas connects, this is Sanyoga. When they departs, this is the union of two Dravyas is Sanyoga, and the separation of two Dravyas is Vibhaga. So there is two kriyas happening in with the Atma, with the Prana and Manas, that is Apasarpanam and Upasarpanam. Apasarpanam is when the Prana or when the Atma is going out of the body, the death. At that particular point of time, the Atma is getting out of the body and the Manas is also coming out of that body. There is a body, a person, human being, living being, any living being. When the person dies, the Atma, Prana and Manas, they come out of the body. That process is called as the Apasarpanam. Similarly, when the fetus is in the womb, the manas and the atma enters the body of the infant. That is upasarpanam. So when the apasarpanam happens, the manas is coming out of the body. So body is a dravya, parthiva shariram, the sharira made of the prithvi. That is a dravyam. Manas is another dravyam. So when it is coming out of the body, the vibhaga, the separation is happening. Similarly, in the womb, when the manas and atma are entering the body, sanyoga is happening. So therefore, the sanyoga, due to the apasarpanam and upasarpana kriya, sanyoga and vibhaga, vibhaga and sanyoga respectively are happening in the body. So that is why the manas also has the sanyoga and vibhaga gunas. Vegaha. So we all know that manas travels. So being here, many of our students sitting back, they were thinking, what would the next class, when the juice would arrive, when the lecture would end, when we can have a fruity, right? Or what is there, what there would be the mess, whether food would be good or not, when there would be a Sunday. So all these thinking are happening being sitting in this lecture hall. So the manas is flickering from one object to another object. Or when we were listening, when we were seeing to the picture, when I said what was the instrument, immediately the manas shifted to the sound. When I asked you what is the instrument being played, the manas immediately shifted to the sound. Right? So the manas travels from one object to another object, from one indriya to another indriya. So when we were seeing the picture, manas was with the chakshur indriya, with the eyes. So when you were listening to the sound, the manas shifted to the shrotrendriya, to the ears. So the manas travels. The vega is there. Okay. So there is, when we study the darshanas, everywhere we have these two words, nitya and anitya. We all know that Jivatma, Paramatma, these are the entities which are nitya. In Nyaya Vaisesika, they accept 9 dravyas to be nitya. The paramanus of Prithvi, Up, Vayu and Teja. Prithvi means the earth, or the solid, we can loosely translate. Up, water, the liquid. Vayu, the gas, and the Teja, the energy. So the paramanu of these are nitya. When these paramanus are being together, when they are connected, when they are united to make objects like this, or the very gross objects, these subtle paramanus, when they unite, those are anitya, because they can be dividable. They are divisible. I can break this. I cannot break the paramanu. So therefore, the paramanu doesn't have the end. So nitya means which doesn't have any beginning nor any end. That is nitya. And the anitya, which has the beginning and also the end. So the paramanus are nitya. And because it is the least in size, the anu, no more it is divisible. Therefore it is nitya. And then Akasha, Kala, Dik, Atma and Manaha. So these 9 dravyas are nitya in being accepted by the Nyaya and Vaisesika. Why the manas is nitya? Because of its size, anutvam. Then again, why it is necessary to be nitya? Because of the Atma Mana Sanyogaha. Because of the Purva Janma. Whenever the Atma, as we say, the Atma is nityam, and as Atma can get the knowledge of Purva Janma, then the tool through which the Atma is getting the knowledge of Purva Janma, that is Manas, the tool needs also to be Nitya. Right? So because the Atma is getting body after each and every Janma, at the end of each Janma. So the Manas is also coming, the same Manas is also coming with the Atma. So the Sanyoga between Atma and Manas makes Atma to know or to get knowledge of the previous Janmas. And that is the reason why Manas has to be Nitya. Otherwise, if the Manas is Anitya, then Manas will be destroyed at some particular point of time, and the Atma would not be able to know the knowledge of previous Janma. So this is why, and that's the thing. Purvadi Janma Jnanam. Okay. So this is how we have all the gunas in our manas. Then manas is also responsible for the smriti, memory. Atma manasoho sanyoga visheshat samskaracha smritihi. As I explained in the very first, the starting of the session, that whatever we learned or whomever we have seen in the past, in the same life, we are able to remember him in later period, whether it's a 10 years or 5 years, whatever it is. So what is the reason? The Atma is all pervasive. Atma is sarvajna. It has knowledge of everything, whatever it has. And this is called, and when the manas is combined, when the manas has, because of everything is there, though Atma knows everything, we are not able to remember everything. Right? During the examination, students will remember the answer. Immediately after the next day, they will forget the answer. Right? So, joke apart. So, the Atma, though the Atma knows everything, we are not able to remember everything. So, what is the reason? The manas is focused where it likes the object, what it likes, though it has been learnt in the past. Right? So, if I know, if I am, the manas is liking the Bollywood songs to sing, though we have learned or we have heard it long back, year ago, or any song, those who are practicing music, they would have learnt it in their childhood. But since even the modern time, they are able to sing, at the present time, they are able to sing that song. The reason is, the manas is liking that song. The manas is focusing on that, in that song, where the ichha is depending upon. The manas, the ichha of the manas is on that particular song, and that is why whatever learnt in the music learnt or the song learnt in the childhood, is they are remembering still in the present time. So that is the samskara happening in the manas. Whatever the samskara is, because of the Atma Manas Sanyoga and the samskara, the manas is focusing on that particular object, and the Atma is able to recollect or get the knowledge in the later period. So the swapna, dream. The manas is also responsible for the swapna. Okay. So the Nyaya Vaisesika says, when we sleep in the night, our indriyas are not working, they are not active. They are active when we are in the Jagrat Avastha. Now the indriyas are active. We are listening, we are seeing. If I give something to eat or drink, we will be able to taste it and touch. All the senses are working active now. But in the dream, we are able to see the dream. I am seeing such and such person. The next morning, the person would wake up and say, I have seen some Bhagavan or Vishnu Hanumanji speaking with me, or I am going to meet the President of India, something, whatever. So then they say that I am seeing, I am listening. The experience of the dream, when the person is narrating the experience, he says that I have seen the President in my swapna. Whereas the Indriya is inactive, the Chakshur Indriya is inactive. So what is the tool which is playing that? That is the manas, which is active at that time, and that is responsible for the dream. And why it happens? Because of the Atma Manas Sanyoga. Again, the Atma is present, Atma every time, and because the Atma Manas Sanyoga, Vishesha, the special type of Sanyoga is happening during the manas, during the dream, the manas is able to make some picture, or we are having something like Maya or some magic called dream, where we say that I am seeing, I am listening, everything. That is because of the Atma Manas Sanyoga. Okay. Atha Swapna, they are narrating, they are just discussing the swapna. Sacha siddhopayuktanta karanajanya jnanam. What is swapna? That is made because of the antakaranam, the manas, created because of the antakaranam. Siddha cha nidra yada, when you sleep, swapna vahanadi madhyavarti manaha, when there is a, they call it, there is a nadi, there is a nerve which makes you to get the swapna. Then when the bahirindriya, when the outer sensory organs, they are inactive, then the manas would be in the active, and it creates the swapna. Bahirindriya sambandha virahat, when there is no connection between the manas and the outer sensory organs, swapna jnanani jayante, because of the antakaranam, the manas. So the Nyaya, Vaisesika, they classify the swapna into three: samskara patavat, dhatu doshat, adrishtatvat. So what is samskara? Samskara is the impression being happened when he is in the jagrata avastha. So when if a person, so in the shastra, in the text, they give a very good example that when a person is sleeping and is very much angry, and he is just something accident happened to him, very bad accident, or some bad experience has happened to him just before he sleep or during the day, what swapna he would get? He would be getting that he is beating that person who has given him the bad experience. He would be getting the swapna that he is beating some of his enemy, not the same person who has given the bad experience, but some of his other enemy or some person. So such dreams would happen. Why? Because during the jagrata avastha, before the sleep or on that day, his manas was much focused on that bad experience, or his manas was much focused on the anger on that person. Then dhatu doshat. So we know that vata, pitta and kapha, we have dhatus in Ayurveda, and due to the dhatu also, due to the dosha, not dhatu, due to the dosha and other dhatu, mamsa, rajya and other rakta, because of their impurity or because of their transplant, because they transplanted in the body somewhere here and or other, or because of the diseases also, we get the swapna. So there is an example that if there is a vata dosha in a person, then he would see that he is flying in the akasha, the swapna. That is because of the vata dosha present in that body. And the third one is adrishtajanya swapna. So adrishta is what is not being perceived in this janma. That is what happened to the atma in the previous janma. So because the atma, there is a atma mana sanyoga, those two are connected, the person may have a dream from his previous janma, experiences related to his previous janma. And because that is not being perceived in this janma, that is called adrishta janya swapnaha. So this is how the Nyaya and Vaisesika presents manas in their system. Thank you.